She thought she could get away with stealing my mail. But what she didn't know was that the postal inspector had a plan to catch her in the act. What happened next will leave you speechless. Welcome, everyone. Before we dive into this epic story, I want to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below, and let's see how far this story travels. Now, grab some popcorn, because this one's going to get intense. It was an ordinary Tuesday when everything began. Jacob had been waiting for a package that could change his life. He had worked tirelessly for weeks to secure a job opportunity with a prestigious firm. And the final piece, the official job offer, was on its way. He had tracked the package online, and it was supposed to arrive that morning. He eagerly checked his front porch every hour, hoping to see that familiar brown box. But as the day passed and the sun began to set, his excitement faded into confusion. The package was nowhere to be found. He checked around the porch, peered behind bushes, and even asked his neighbors if they had seen the delivery truck. Nothing. Jacob's heart sank. Something was of dart. It wasn't the first time deliveries had gone missing in the neighborhood, but this felt different. Jacob had been a loyal customer of the postal service for years. He wasn't used to things disappearing like this. He immediately contacted the postal service. After some back and forth with customer service, they confirmed that the package had been marked as delivered to the correct address, but it was nowhere to be seen. An unsettling thought began to creep into Jacob's mind. What if someone had taken it? Who would do such a thing? Jacob had a neighbor named Karen. She was the type of person who always had something to say, always ready to gossip about anyone and everyone. Karen lived 2 houses down, and while she wasn't exactly a close friend, their interactions had always been cordial. But something about her behavior recently had been raising red flags. For weeks, Karen had been acting oddly. She had taken more walks than usual, always near Jacob's house, always eyeing the packages that were delivered to his doorstep. Jacob noticed her often staring at the mailman, her eyes following him as he walked away. But when he asked her once if she was expecting a package, she had been overly vague, even changing the subject quickly. As the days passed, Jacob couldn't ignore the nagging feeling that Karen was somehow involved. He watched her walk by his house more frequently, always looking towards his porch. She was one of the few people who knew his routine and might have known he wouldn't be home much during the day. Could she have taken the package? With no solid proof, but growing suspicion, Jacob decided he needed help. He contacted the postal inspector, a calm, seasoned professional named Lisa, who is known for her keen eye and meticulous investigations. When Jacob explained the situation, she listened carefully, asking all the right questions and offering reassurance. "Don't worry," she said. "We'll get to the bottom of this. It's our job to protect the mail, and we don't take theft lightly." Lisa took the case seriously, promising to investigate further. Jacob's relief was palpable. Finally, someone was taking action. He had been feeling powerless, but now it seemed like there was a chance to right the wrong. Over the next few days, Lisa and Jacob discussed possible methods to catch the thief. The thought of confronting Karen directly filled Jacob with dread. He was no detective. He didn't know what steps to take next. That's when Lisa came up with a plan. They would set up a sting operation. Lisa's plan was simple but clever. She arranged for another package to be delivered, a decoy with a GPS tracker inside. It wasn't something Karen could easily recognize. The package would look identical to Jacob's original one, and this time they'd be able to track it wherever it went. The waiting began once again. Jacob tried to maintain his patience, though his heart raced with each passing day. What if Karen didn't take the bait? What if the package was stolen by someone else? But there was no turning back now. A few days later, the decoy package arrived. Jacob stood by the window, watching nervously as the mailman dropped it off. He could feel his pulse quicken as the minutes ticked by. His eyes were glued to the porch. Would Karen show up? Jacob didn't have to wait long. Just as the sun began to dip below the horizon, he saw Karen approach. She was walking her usual route, her eyes scanning the porch as if expecting the package to be there. She hesitated for a moment before making her move. Jacob's heart skipped a beat as Karen casually walked up to the porch and grabbed the package. She looked around quickly, as if ensuring no one saw her, then turned and walked back down the driveway, clutching the package to her chest. Jacob's mind raced. It was happening. The sting was working. He could hardly believe it, but the evidence was right there. Karen had stolen his package. The shock of the moment was overwhelming, but he couldn't let it distract him. The postal inspector had everything under control now. At that moment, Jacob heard the faint sound of sirens. The postal inspector had set up a team of local officers, and they were ready to make their move. The authorities had been tracking the decoy package with the GPS, and they now had Karen exactly where they wanted her. Karen had no idea what was about to happen. She walked into her home, still holding the stolen package, thinking she had gotten away with it. But just as she closed the door behind her, the police arrived. They approached her calmly, explaining the situation. "Karen, we know you took the package. The GPS tracking confirms it," Lisa said. Karen's face turned pale as the truth sank in. She stammered, trying to deny it, but the evidence was irrefutable. The police officer placed her under arrest, and Jacob watched from across the street, his emotions a mix of relief and disbelief. It was over. Justice had been served. In the days that followed, Jacob received his job offer in the mail this time, delivered safely. He couldn't help but smile when he saw the familiar brown box sitting on his doorstep. It was a small victory in a world that often felt unfair. But it was his victory. Jacob thought about the whole ordeal, how much it had affected him emotionally. How something as simple as a missing package had shaken his sense of security. But the sting operation had proven that justice could prevail. Karen was arrested, and while it wouldn't change the past, it brought a sense of closure. He realized that sometimes standing up for what's right meant taking action, even when it felt uncomfortable. It wasn't just about the package, it was about reclaiming his peace of mind. In the end, Jacob felt empowered, knowing that even in moments of doubt, there was always a way to make things right.